In the Star Dragon Kingdom, a cataclysm erupted as countless monsters from another world invaded reality, plunging humanity into chaos. But fate favored the brave. A mysterious imprint appeared on the backs of all humans, awakening unique professions. Through this mark, humanity entered the era of universal job change. Among the awakened, only 3 reached the mythological level. Ghost Swordmaster Alpha from the Lighthouse Country, Hell Dragon Knight, plus Resta from Russia, and Forest Mage King plus Kwanzi Khan from the Cold Country. These mythical professionals gave their nations a dominant lead in the conquest of otherworldly realms. A century ago, the Dragon Country too gave birth to a peerless genius known as Asura. He shattered all records, becoming the first to connect with the 70th world within just 10 years. But during the catastrophic invasion of the 9th level Beast Tide, Asura, still an 8th Transcendent, stood alone to defend the rift. His sacrifice protected the nation, earning him legendary status. This year marked the centennial of Asura's ascent. At a grand memorial in Dragon City, the kingdom's top professionals gathered. According to this year's statistics, 12.35 million individuals have awakened, an 11.3% rise from last year, the highest in 110 years. Of these, 10% reached the core professional tier, surpassing even the era of Asura's birth. Hopes reignite for the rise of another legend. Suddenly, lightning split the sky. Inside a dim room, Yang Yua jolted awake. Memories surged. He had died. Yet here he was. As fragments of the body's past flooded in, Zhang Yua saw a life filled with hardship. Awakening as a beast tamer, one of the most ridiculed professions, led to heartbreak. His girlfriend left him. Powerless and poor, he couldn't afford his brother's treatment. Realizing he had reincarnated into someone bearing the same name 100 years later, Zhang Yua processed the truth. Beasts relied on pets for combat. Their strength was tied not only to their own growth, but also to their pets' development. Cultivating a powerful beast tamer demanded wealth on par with a nation. For most, it was a path of failure. The former Zhang Yue had lost hope and sought an end. But now, he had been reborn. Once known as Suluo, the strongest awakener in the Dragon Kingdom, he now inhabited this weak body. Standing before a mirror, Yung Yu resolved to awaken again, to carry both the responsibilities and regrets of the life he inherited, and to conquer this unforgiving world in return. Just then, the system activated, announcing the gateway's imminent opening. Yung Yu stepped into the space gate as it shimmered into existence. Inside the gate, the system delivered shocking news. Yung Yu had defeated a 9th level Beast Tide for the first time, earning a mythical achievement unmatched in the other world. His rewards totaled 2 trillion energy points, and he received the mythical item, Supreme Divine Oracle. Instantly activated, it granted him a permanent buff, a 10,000-fold increase in energy gain, including 999 times more from offline sources. Total energy surged, 200 trillion points. Stunned by the numbers, Yung Yu realized the wealth hidden behind top-tier rewards. A beast tide of this level brought unimaginable gains. The system then offered him a career reset, presenting 7 legendary core professions to choose from. Reflecting on his past life, Yung Yu remembered awakening as an epic warrior. But in this new world, the strongest profession was clearly the beast tamer. Despite its power, the high resource demands made it nearly impossible to advance. However, with a rebirth and passive income accumulated over millions of years from AFK rewards, the choice became clear. He chose Necromancer. The system congratulated him. Zhang Yue had become the 4th mythic tier core professional, Necromancer, an advanced class of the beast tamer. Starting with a 100-star growth rating, his strength truly matched his rank. Unlike ordinary beast tamers, whose pets came from rare task rewards and couldn't be upgraded, necromancers could evolve pets and even harvest monsters to serve as their own. It was a profession worthy of mythic status. In his previous life, Yung Yu had cleared 70 worlds in just 10 years, becoming #1 in the Dragon Kingdom. But this time, beginning with a mythic profession, he aimed for perfection, clearing every world, not just for the Dragon Kingdom, but to become the strongest in existence. The system then announced his entry into the first world of another world, Source of Nightmares. Based on his location, he was placed in the safety zone called Doomsday Town. Combat was prohibited here. The system asked if he wished to continue using the ID Asura. Yung Yu declined. He chose a new identity 0. In this life, he would not just follow Asura's path, he would surpass it. And to transcend everything, there could only be 0. Yung Yu entered World 1, finding himself among several other people. Confusion filled the air as one girl looked around, comparing the world to reality. Another guy expressed disbelief, expecting monsters everywhere. But someone else explained that they were in a safe zone and that the monsters were outside. Suddenly, the system made an announcement. The World 1 mission had been launched and could be checked on the mission interface. Seeing this, some of the players realized the mission had already started. Yung Yu opened his system interface to study the details of this world. It stated that when darkness engulfed the earth, monsters slumbering beneath would awaken, leading the world toward disaster. As a survivor, one had to break the apocalyptic pattern, endure countless calamities, and destroy the darkness. The first world task was to kill 1,000 monsters. The second was to collect 10 silver coins by either hunting monsters or completing tasks. Completing these objectives would unlock the teleportation channel to the world boss dungeon. Defeating the boss would grant access to the second world. After understanding the mission, Young-ya decided to buy some equipment before starting any quests. He arrived at the equipment shop and noticed it only offered basic rough items. The best available gear was just 1-star quality. The shop owner mentioned they also had higher quality equipment, but it required additional copper coins. Jenung handed over 100 copper coins and requested a 1-star gear set. The shop owner provided the equipment as requested. Nearby, some players started whispering about Zhang's decision. They noted that the newbie starter pack only gave 100 copper coins, and Zhang had spent it all at once. One of them remarked that adding a 1-star magic wand didn't boost attack power significantly, suggesting it was better to buy a full set of basic gear. Another person criticized the choice, saying it wasn't worth it, but Zhang Yao ignored their comments and walked away without responding. A girl nearby pointed out that only higher-tier weapons could refine attributes, and refining could increase attack power. In response, someone explained that refining required energy, a rare resource gained only in small amounts through monster hunting tasks. It was so valuable that most couldn't even afford upgrades. Using it to refine a 1-star wand seemed foolish to them. The group continued discussing Zhang's poor decisions. They believed he had no defense and would run into trouble soon. To them, he looked like a clueless countryside kid who wouldn't survive long without money. A short distance away, Young-ya reflected on the situation. He knew regular people earn limited energy from monster hunting, making it impossible to refine a 1-star weapon. But unlike others, what he needed right now was energy. With that thought, he began upgrading his equipment. The system warned that refining would consume 1 point of energy and had only a 10% chance to upgrade the item to a green attribute. Higher attributes would cost more and have even lower success rates. When prompted, John confirmed the refinement. After a while, the process completed. The system reported that the equipment had been upgraded to its highest level. A total of 132 refinement attempts were made in one go, consuming 985 points of special energy. Zhang successfully acquired the golden attribute, the Flame Pioneer Staff. Pleased with the result, Zhang affirmed his decision. Refining 132 times in one click was only possible because he had billions of energy points. With his preparations finally complete, the real game was about to begin. A player was seen battling a monster, but the creature was far too powerful. He nervously realized that even this supposedly basic monster had an abnormally high health bar, and their attacks barely caused any damage. Just then, the monster lunged forward, forcing the player to dodge. In that moment, a powerful strike landed directly on the monster, instantly eliminating it in one blow. The devastating attack came from Zhang Yu. The system immediately notified him that he had slain the Ivy mutant rat, granting him +2 experience points and an enormous 10,000 anomalous energy, thanks to the active 10,000-fold anomalous energy buff. Young noted that legendary professionals started with all base attributes maxed out, along with full-level equipment sets. Regular players usually had to form teams just to defeat these mutated rats, but now he could finish them with a single hit. Watching this, a nearby player was stunned by the sheer damage output. He couldn't believe anyone at this stage could have refined a beginner weapon to such power. But one thing was clear. Kang was no ordinary player. Zhang analyzed the situation. Level 1 monsters provided too little experience. To level up faster, he needed to hunt monsters that were above his current level. Within this first world, called the Source of Nightmares, the enemies included low-level mutated rats, level 3 to 4 venomous spiders, level 5 to 7 armored scorpions, and level 8 to 9 enraged wild boars. The ultimate boss was a level 10 rampaging boar king. For now, targeting monsters above level 3 near the abandoned factory was the most efficient path. Noticing his strength, the earlier player tried to form a team with Young. His teammates, including some girls, also requested to join forces with him. But Zhang, maintaining his focus, declined their offer and walked away without hesitation. The team felt a chilling sense of pressure from Zhang. One of them commented that his aura was even more terrifying than the monsters. When they realized he was heading straight toward the abandoned factory, known for its extremely dangerous Heil monsters, they wondered if he planned to take them all on alone. At the factory, Yang used his upgraded gear to eliminate each monster methodically. With every kill, his level continued to rise. Eventually, after defeating the final monster in the area, the system notified him of a level up. He had reached level 3. His health increased by 30 points, mana by 12, and he gained 6 free attribute points. He now needed 1,000 experience points to reach the next level. Along with the level up, Yang unlocked a new skill, the Fireball spell. He noted that legendary class users received 6 times the upgrade bonuses compared to regular players. After 3 level ups, he had already gained 18 freely distributable attribute points. Since Beastemmer and Mage shared a similar early progression, it was important to focus on faster casting, consistent output, and then agility. Ordinary professionals rarely use their limited supernatural abilities so early. But for Zhang, energy was the last thing he had to worry about in this life. With that in mind, Zhang began upgrading his fireball skill. After consuming a large amount of energy points, he found the results satisfying. The fireball, now at max level, could deal 140% damage. At this pace, completing the first two world tasks and reaching level 8 before the boss fight seemed well within reach. His next goal was clear: defeat the boss and enter the second world. Jung arrived at a location and opened the gate, only to find an NPC sitting inside in a severely injured condition. He observed the scene and reflected that apart from the terrifying reality that dying here meant true death, this world functioned almost exactly like a typical game with quests, dungeons, and NPCs, like the one now in front of him. The wounded NPC, struggling to speak, explained that his wife and child had been killed by monsters. He pleaded for Zhang's help in avenging them by eliminating the scorpions responsible. At that moment, the system prompted Zhang with a quest notification. A new mission had been triggered: eliminate scorpions, and it awaited his acceptance. Seinong considered the offer. Equipment obtained through NPC quests was usually superior to random monster drops. Since he currently possessed only a basic staff, accepting this mission seemed like a worthwhile investment. He began reading through the task details. Looking ahead into the area, Jung noticed signs that there was more than just monsters lurking in this place. But for now, completing the mission remained his top priority. His eyes focused as he recognized the threat. This was the ironclad scorpion, the first intermediate-level monster in the first world. It had been a long time since he'd encountered one. Without delay, the ironclad scorpion launched its attack. Zhang immediately summoned his equipment and prepared for battle, signaling the start of a dangerous encounter. The battle between Zhang and the ironclad scorpion began instantly. As the monster charged at him, Zhang responded with a powerful fireball spell, obliterating the scorpion in a single blow. He noted the effectiveness of the super fireball spell, but also recognized its heavy mana consumption. As more ironclad scorpions closed in, Jung braced himself, recalling a crucial detail. Once the number of ordinary scorpions dropped below a certain limit, it would trigger the early appearance of the ironclad Emperor Scorpion. And right on cue, the massive monster emerged. Zhang knew he had to defeat this creature before exhausting his mana completely. He launched a super fireball toward the Emperor Scorpion, but the attack bounced harmlessly off its thick armor. Without hesitation, Jen dashed behind the beast and fired another spell directly at its weak spot. The attack landed perfectly, killing the Emperor Scorpion in one decisive strike. Completely drained, Jung observed the fallen beast and realized he'd barely managed to immobilize it. All that remained was the final blow to complete the mission. Suddenly, someone attacked Zhang from behind. He swiftly dodged to the side, avoiding the ambush. With a calm smile, he acknowledged the attacker's presence, having sensed someone lurking in the shadows for a while. The enemy, surprised, asked how Zhang had known. Zhang responded coldly, drawing a line between honest players and those who relied on underhanded tactics like sneaking and ambushing. Declaring that his past enemies were far more dangerous, Zhang unleashed a fiery attack on the ambusher's companion, burning them instantly. Shocked by the sudden strike, the attacker questioned how Zhang could still use skills despite running out of mana. But before the intruder could retreat, the system chimed in. Upon killing the Emperor Scorpion, Zhang had triggered the Death Mage profession effect, soul harvesting. A prompt appeared offering him the option to tame the ironclad Emperor Scorpion as a pet. Zhang accepted without hesitation. The scorpion's body began to revive. As the effect activated, the system confirmed the successful acquisition of the Emperor Scorpion as Zhang's pet. He began analyzing the situation. Beastmasters usually struggled to level up because their pets relied on their own experience points. In the early stages, they had to spend double the experience. As more pets were added, the required experience grew exponentially, making it nearly impossible for average players. But Zhang had no shortage of experience right now. Stunned, the attacker asked who Zhang really was, unable to believe a beast tamer could possess such immense power. Zhang explained that he had sensed someone watching him ever since receiving the mission. He deduced that the attacker specialized in stealth, targeting solo adventurers, and planned an ambush to steal the mission rewards by killing the Scorpion King at the last moment. Realizing his mistake, the attacker panicked and attempted to flee. But Xian provoked him to show his strength. At that moment, the newly tamed ironclad Emperor Scorpion lunged and attacked the fleeing enemy. Begging for mercy, the attacker pleaded for his life. But Zhang remained cold, declaring that in a world where predators hunt others, one must always be prepared to become prey. With the battle over, the wounded NPC approached Zhang with gratitude. Thankful for the revenge, he declared Zhang his brother. The system then confirmed the completion of the mission, eliminate the scorpions, and granted rewards. Zhang checked his loot and discovered a magic necklace and a pair of iron leg guards. The timing of the reward couldn't have been better. Just when he urgently needed a power boost, he refined the equipment instantly. With the new gear and the Emperor Scorpion by his side, Zhang estimated that their leveling speed would now increase fivefold. Suddenly, an area-wide notification appeared. All professionals in Doomsday Town were alerted to the emergence of a hidden realm, City of the Apocalypse, Level 5, nearby. The realm would remain open for 1 hour. Whoever conquered it first would earn generous rewards. The announcement stunned many professionals, but Zhang remained focused. The realm wasn't far, and with his current strength, he was determined to seize the first conqueror reward. A group of players gathered near the portal to the Level 5 secret realm. One of them stepped forward and encouraged others to join him, claiming that the first-time rewards inside were extremely generous and could make them rich. But another player quickly dismissed the idea, pointing out that with their current level, entering a Level 5 realm was practically a death sentence. While the rewards were tempting, survival was unlikely. The first player suggested forming a team to increase their chances. Zhang arrived on the scene, observing the crowd and noting how many seemed eager to challenge the secret realm. Just then, a figure of high status appeared. President Liu Qing, son of the richest man, Liu Yu. His arrival caught everyone's attention. Spectators whispered in awe about Liu Qing's extravagant nature. Every one of his subordinates was equipped with full sets of one-star gear, each piece costing tens of thousands. A girl standing beside Liu Qing turned her gaze to Zhang. Recognizing her, Zhang remembered that she was the original owner's ex-girlfriend, Linu. She mocked Zhang, reminding him that he was just a struggling beast tamer who couldn't even afford rent, yet dared to dream about tackling a Level 5 realm. Jen replied with a serious expression, unfazed by her taunts. Weiju was taken back. In the past, Zhang would beg for her attention, but now something felt different. She turned to Liu Qing and declared that only powerful individuals like Master Yao deserved to clear such elite realms. She added that others should stop chasing delusions. Liu Qing hugged Yuju and mocked Zhang, claiming that being dumped must sting. He suggested that people should know their limits and that clinging to impossible dreams wouldn't help. But Zhang coldly responded, calling Wu nothing more than an old shoe he'd already worn. If Luing wanted her, he could have her. As for the secret realm, Zhang said the real delusional one was someone else entirely. Enraged, Yu shouted at Zhang and demanded Master Yao teach him a lesson. Zhang warned them to value their lives. She scoffed at the threat, claiming to know Master Yao's weakness and calling him trash. Meanwhile, Liu Qing studied Zhang closely. He realized he couldn't see Zhang's level or profession, which meant Zhang was deliberately hiding them. Du Qing decided to drop the matter for now, saying he had no time to waste and would spare Zhang's life this time. He called out to his group, reminding them to carry resurrection scrolls, and led them into the portal to attempt the first clear. His followers all responded in unison. A bystander approached Zhang, urging him to accept the reality that poor weak players couldn't compete with powerful second-generation elites. But Zhang replied that if someone truly believed they were weak and poor, they should focus on becoming stronger. In his mind, Zhang reflected that while the original Yung Yua may have been poor, he was now Ashura, and things were different. The bystander scoffed, thinking Zhang was still just pretending to act tough. Nearby players chatted among themselves, stunned by the wealth on display. Resurrection scrolls sold for 3,000 each in the market, and Qing's group had them all. These scrolls could be used twice within 7 days, effectively giving users 3 lives. Many believed the Supreme Guild would surely claim the first clear this time. Zhang analyzed the situation. Secret realms often had powerful boss monsters guarding the end. While he could easily handle ordinary monsters, facing the final boss would be difficult unless both he and his iron-armored Scorpion reached level 5. With the right equipment and fully upgraded skills, he could potentially secure a flawless solo victory. As Liu Qing's group entered the portal, Yuju complained that Zhang had humiliated her and questioned why Qing hadn't avenged her. He explained that acting in public could ruin both the Liu families and the guild's reputation. If accused of randomly killing professionals, the fallout would be severe. But he assured her that the useless beast tamer would be brought to his knees eventually. Wu smiled, pleased that he cared about her. Inside the realm, Janong started battling monsters. He thought about how ordinary beast tamers required their pets to gain the same amount of experience as their masters. Fortunately, as a necromancer, his pets only needed half. By letting his iron-armored Scorpion defeat a few minor monsters, it could level up rapidly in the early stages. Watching from the shadows, a few players observed Zhang's performance and were shocked. One of them recognized him as the poor guy who had argued with Liu Yao earlier. Another admitted they had underestimated him. His level 5 Scorpion could instantly kill enemies. A group of girls approached Zhang, impressed by his strength. They begged to join him, asking to be his friends or even girlfriends, promising loyalty. Zhang simply refused and walked away. The system suddenly announced that the level 5 secret realm, City of the Unknown, would close in 10 minutes. Zhang assessed his current setup. With his Scorpion at level 5 and properly equipped for defense, it could tank from the front, while he provided magical firepower from behind. His mana-restoring gear enabled him to cast Fireball repeatedly, greatly increasing his monster-killing efficiency. 10 minutes would be more than enough. With that, Jung stepped into the portal. Inside, the scene turned grim for Luing's group. Qing was badly wounded and frustrated. They had nearly defeated the boss Scorpion. One of his allies lamented that as level 2 professionals, they were no match for a level 7 boss. It was a suicide mission. Yu agreed, saying the monsters were too strong and that survival should now be their priority. Another player urged the team to use resurrection scrolls and escape before the monster chased them down. Suddenly, the group looked up in shock. Someone was approaching. It was Zhang. Qing stared in disbelief, furious that Zhang dared to enter the level 5 secret realm alone. He shouted at Zhang, asking if he wasn't afraid of dying. Zhang responded with a smile. The others questioned what he was laughing at. Weiju tried to calm Qing, pointing out that Zhang probably didn't even own a resurrection scroll and had just entered to die. With that, the group made a hasty retreat, leaving Zhang alone in the heart of the realm. The system welcomed everyone to the level 5 secret realm known as the City of the Apocalypse, unbothered by the chaos around him. Zhang moved forward, ignoring the noise and distractions. Suddenly, the ground trembled, and a powerful level 7 boss monster, the iron-armored scorpion leader, emerged from beneath the earth. Zhang observed the massive creature, noting how its health bar was several times thicker than the lesser monsters he had faced before. Without hesitation, his own iron-armored scorpion engaged the boss in battle. Qiang felt confident. With the right equipment and the scorpion's innate skills, even a level 7 boss couldn't land a damaging blow. Trusting his strategy, he joined the fight and launched a barrage of attacks. A series of blazing fireballs formed in his hands, and he unleashed them all at once, bombarding the monster with overwhelming force. The boss fell in a single decisive strike. Jung stood atop the fallen beast, victorious. Immediately after, the system broadcasted a message to all players. Congratulations to Player 0 for being the first to complete the Level 5 Secret Realm, City of the Apocalypse. The reward granted was a Secret Realm scroll of black iron grade. Outside the portal, everyone was stunned by the sudden announcement. One player expressed disbelief at Zero's strength. Impressed by the fact that someone had actually cleared a Level 5 Secret Realm, Zhu, still processing what had happened, turned to Qing in shock. She pointed out that most players were only around level 1 to 3. A guardian in a level 5 realm would at least be a level 6 or 7 boss. She couldn't understand how it was possible. Qing considered the possibility that it could have been her ex-boyfriend. He had entered the realm just before the announcement was made. Yu quickly rejected the idea. She reminded Qing that Jung had hidden his identity and didn't even seem to have a pet. To her, there was no way he could have defeated a level 7 boss alone. Qing agreed it was unlikely. Whoever managed to kill the scorpion leader had to be someone exceptional. Determined to uncover the truth, Qing turned to his team and ordered them to investigate the identity of the player named Zero. He offered a generous reward to anyone who could recruit this mysterious powerhouse into the Supreme Guild to work under his command. After the boss monster was defeated, several valuable items appeared around its body. Zhang examined the loot, noting the significantly higher drop rate compared to regular monsters. Copper coins, blueprints, and equipment were scattered across the ground. But the most important item among them was a scroll. To him, upgradable Mystic Realm scrolls held far more value than a few thousand coins. Without delay, Zhang upgraded the scroll with a single click. He recognized its worth immediately. A king-level Mystic Realm scroll had never appeared in the first world. If released into the market, it could fetch hundreds of thousands. For most professionals, that amount was life-changing. But Janang's goal was not wealth. He aimed to conquer the other world. The system then notified him of a new bounty quest tied to the scroll: Save the Survivor. It had a time limit and promised rich rewards upon completion. Zhang noticed the difficulty, rating 100. The reward was unknown. It was a king-level bounty quest, but the objective seemed simple: escort an NPC. More system information followed. Darkness had spread across the land, monsters had awakened, and humanity was on the brink of disaster. Within the first-world source of nightmares, Zhang was tasked with finding the survivor, Aileen, and escorting her to the safe zone in N-Town. The challenge became clear. The map was designed for level 10 players, while Zhang was only level 5. Worse, the area was infested with berserk boars, known to attack in deadly packs. Still, he decided to move forward and locate Alien first. Soon, a monster was seen chasing a young girl. Suddenly, a powerful attack struck it down in one hit. It was Zhang's strike. The girl, now safe, asked if he had come to save her. Zhang confirmed. The system confirmed that the survivor N had been found. 10 hours remained to complete the quest. Suddenly, another monster approached. Zhang immediately prepared for battle. As the creature lunged toward him, Jung struck back with his gear, defeating it. But the threat didn't end there. More monsters emerged, surrounding both Zhang and Aileen. Zhang assessed the situation. Despite having a mythical-level profession, a gold attribute staff, and an A-grade fireball spell, his attacks weren't dealing enough damage. If Aileen died, the quest would fail. He quickly summoned his iron scorpion to cover them. The scorpion responded perfectly, drawing the monster's attention. Zhang began firing off fireballs one after another, wiping out enemies as he fought through the swarm. Encouraged by his progress, he pushed forward, determined to keep going and gain more experience. Despite defeating several monsters, Jen realized the boars kept coming. Their relentless charges were draining his mana rapidly. Aileen looked up at him with concern, asking if he was okay. Zhang reassured her, promising to get her back safely. Just then, a boar charged at Zhenong, but he incinerated it with his equipment. He took a moment to breathe, noting that his HP was still relatively high. Any less and the boar's impact would have been unbearable. His iron scorpion was also nearing its limit. The bounty quest was proving far tougher than expected. Opening his system window, Zhenong felt relief. He had leveled up twice during the battle. It was time to boost his attack power using the equipment he'd obtained from the Scorpion King. He equipped the Glory Lord's battle ring and raised it toward the sky. Instantly, a massive fire tornado surged around him. Now, with just 2 fireballs, he could kill a boar, something that previously took 7 or 8. In one explosive move, all the boar monsters were wiped out. Zhang exhaled in relief. The path was finally clear. Now all that remained was to escort En safely to End Town and complete the quest. Before he could move, Qing appeared. He was surprised that Zhang had survived the Mystic Realm. Zhang showed no interest in conversation. He dismissed Qing as a small fry and told him to leave. Yuju, irritated, turned to Qing. She reminded him that as a level 5 elite with full gold equipment, he could easily crush most newcomers. She urged him to teach Zhang a lesson. Qing drew his sword, declaring that last time Zhang had been lucky. This time he planned to end it. Zhang welcomed the challenge, offering him a shot. Qing charged forward and struck with his sword, but Zhang remained unharmed. Qing and Uju both stared in disbelief. Uju couldn't believe what she was seeing. To her, Zhang was just an unarmed beast tamer, and yet even Brother Yao couldn't defeat him. Jung laughed, calm and confident. The performance was over. Now it was his turn. Jung raised his equipment toward the sky once again, summoning a massive tornado of fire. The blazing attack shook Qing to his core. In a panic, he revealed his identity as the president of the Supreme Guild and the eldest son of Lin Hai's richest Lu family, threatening Zhang not to strike him. But Zhang unleashed his attack anyway. The overwhelming force left Qing broken and defeated. After taking Qing down, Zhang reflected on the rules of the other world. In this realm, professionals were usually marked by white names, but when a white-named professional maliciously attacked another, their name turned gray temporarily. During that time, any counterattack by the victim wouldn't count as evil. If the attacker succeeded in killing the other white-named player, their name would turn red and they'd gain 100 evil points. Red-named players would then be barred from safe zones and couldn't exit the other world unless they either removed their evil points by killing enough monsters or faced death themselves. And with death came major losses, levels, experience, and a huge amount of equipment and items. Watching from a distance, Yu was stunned. She couldn't believe Zhang had taken down Lu Yao with a single blow. She hadn't realized when he had grown so powerful. Zhang then turned toward her, panicked. Yu demanded to know what he intended to do. Her thoughts raced. She had already used one of her revival scrolls to escape a previous realm. If she used her second one now, she'd have no safety net left. But Zhang didn't attack. He simply picked up the little girl and started walking away. While leaving, he glanced at Yu, thinking that sparing her was the right choice. Attacking white-named players could interfere with his quest, and he had no time for distractions. Furious, Yu watched him go. Being ignored by someone she considered beneath her only fueled her anger. Soon after, Zhang safely escorted the little girl back home, completing the bounty quest. As a reward, he received several items, including an ice staff. He summoned the staff into his hand and immediately began the refining process. After refining it 144 times, he noted how high-quality equipment consumed a lot of energy to refine. Still, the cost didn't matter. He had it under control. Next, he checked another reward, a pet egg. Jung recognized it as a normal one. Since he had gathered several such eggs while grinding monsters, he decided to use them to feed his iron-armored scorpion. Just then, the system notified him. His pet had evolved into a silver-armored scorpion. Zhang was satisfied. With a 2-star staff, a newly evolved scorpion, and the gold equipment dropped by Lu Yao, he was confident he now had the strength to challenge the final boss of the first world. But before that, he needed to restock his supplies. He opened a portal and exited the realm. Back in the real world, Jung's phone rang. The call was urgent. A hospital representative reminded him that his brother Jung Xiao's 390,000 yuan medical bill was overdue. If the payment wasn't made, treatment would stop. Zhang calmly asked for the hospital's payment account, promising to transfer the amount within 10 minutes. He opened his system window, planning to sell some of the gold equipment. Just a few pieces would fetch millions, which would easily cover the medical expenses. Helping the original body's family felt like the right thing to do. But a warning popped up. The equipment was bound, untradeable, and undroppable. Realizing this was likely a side effect of the tenfold buff, Zhang frowned. The world's mechanics were airtight. Since he couldn't sell the gear, he checked the silver coins he had. They barely totaled over 10,000 yen. Not nearly enough. Zhang began scanning job listings on his phone. Most were hourly training jobs, too slow to make serious money. Then a post caught his eye. Someone was offering 30,000 Wei to hire a new professional from Lin Hai City's First World for training. Young smirked as he read the offer. A deadly reward indeed. Just the kind of opportunity he was looking for. Jen made a call to inquire about the forum's 300,000 UN training bounty. A woman on the call explained the requirements. First, the participant must be a new professional from the current session. Second, they must escort a designated person through the First World. Zhang agreed to the mission, but demanded 390,000 yuan instead. The woman responded that she could offer 400,000 yuan upon successful completion. Zhang then asked about the starting time, and she told him to meet at the Resurrection Spring in Doomsday Town in 10 minutes. Zhang thought to himself that he had already planned to clear the First World, and now he would earn 400,000 yen just for escorting someone. It seemed like a good deal. After arriving at the designated spot, a woman appeared. Zhang asked her if she had hired a trainer. Onlookers began whispering among themselves, recognizing the woman as the Doom Mage, known for always wearing the same outfit. They noticed the weak beast tamer beside her and speculated whether he had accepted that task. Zhang teamed up with the girl and suggested they first complete the world mission. As they started walking, he reminded her of the prerequisites to clear the First World, killing 1,000 monsters and collecting 10 coins. She confirmed that she was aware. Once they reached the area, Zhang explained that according to the alternate world settings, professionals couldn't deal force damage to monsters more than 5 levels above them. Even if he left a monster at 1 GP, she would need to land the final blow. Then Young summoned his ice staff and suggested they begin completing the prerequisites while leveling her up. He engaged in a battle with a scorpion monster, thinking about the control skill book he had earned earlier. While not as strong as Fireball, it was still a decent support skill. He told the girl to stop daydreaming and finish the monster. She used her magic power to attack the scorpion, resulting in her leveling up 3 times in a row. Surprised, she wondered how that was even possible. Suddenly, another scorpion monster attacked from behind. Zhang quickly pulled her aside and jumped with her to safety. Using his fire technique, he launched a fierce attack on the new scorpion. The girl remained silent, simply watching him. Zhang told her to get up and reminded her they were at a training spot. As they continued walking together, Zhang asked her age. She responded using her fingers. Zhang guessed she was 21 and noted that everyone could awaken their profession at 18 since she should have entered the alternate world 3 years ago. He questioned why her level was still so low. The girl suddenly stopped walking. Jung asked what was wrong. She thanked him for helping her level up and told him he could leave now. As compensation, she offered 10,000 W and asked him not to inform her sister. Zhang replied that he thought she wasn't the talkative type, but assured her that he had made a promise to her sister and would help her clear the First World no matter what. The girl then mentioned how everyone considered her a jinx. She believed that walking with her would only bring him bad luck. Jung admitted he had been curious earlier and asked about her class. She explained that a Doom Mage was someone who only caused trouble. Just then, a group of people appeared. One of them stated that the forum claimed anyone who took on her task was destined to die a horrible death. But if someone killed her, they would gain lots of experience and special energy. Another person declared they would act as justice today and target her. The girl warned Zhang that their opponents were all around level 5 or 6, making them no match. She urged him to leave since they were only after her, but Zhang summoned his ice staff, questioning if they were planning to take his 400,000 Wien reward without permission. Right at that moment, Qing appeared and commented on the brawl, finding it exciting. Recognizing him, the attackers panicked. They realized he was Liu Yao, the young master of the richest man in Lin Hai, and suspected he was there to snatch the kill. One of them nervously approached Qing to clarify their intentions, but Qing cut him off, telling him to shut up. He then walked over to Zhang, recognizing him from before. Zhang asked if he was here to give him more equipment and reminded him that resurrection scrolls couldn't be used within 7 days. In response, Qing signaled with his hand, prompting his men to draw their weapons and prepare for battle. Young's confused reaction made Qing frown. Turning around, Qing saw his men holding swords in their hands. Without hesitation, he punched one of them on the head, scolding him for misunderstanding his earlier command. When he told them to grab weapons, this wasn't what he meant. To Yen's surprise, the men suddenly surrounded him and placed a gift box in front of him, politely asking him to accept it. The girl standing beside Zhang was startled by this unexpected gesture. Yuju, visibly confused, asked Qing about his intentions, but Qing simply told her to keep quiet. Then facing Zhang, he explained that he didn't want to use force, as it would make him appear insincere. These were rare treasures he had carefully selected as a sincere offer. If Zhang agreed to join his guild and work under him, all of it would be his. And not just that, Qing was even willing to offer a monthly salary of 50,000. Guju immediately jumped in, reminding Zhang that someone as poor as him would need 10 years of hard work to earn that much. She insisted it was smarter to obediently join Brother Yao's guild. In her mind, helping Brother Yao now would earn his favor, and once Yong joined, she would have plenty of chances to teach him a lesson. Two birds with one stone. But Jen wasn't interested in flattery or gifts. He declared that he only respected those stronger than him. If Qing wanted to prove his worth, then force was the way to go. Maybe then Jen would consider the offer. Weiju lost her temper, yelling that Zhang was insane to turn down such a generous offer. For someone like him who was barely surviving, it was more than he could hope to earn in a year. She questioned what right he had to reject Brother Yao. Unbothered, Zhang replied that people of the same nature stick together. If she preferred being a dog rather than a human, that was her choice. But he wasn't like her. If they weren't going to fight, then they should step aside and stop blocking his path. Qing calmly instructed his people to let Zhang go. Yuju was stunned by his decision and questioned whether he was truly going to allow such disrespect. But Qing repeated his order, asking if something was wrong with her ears. Left with no choice, Yu acknowledged the command. Zhang and the girl walked away from the scene. One of Ku's men, unable to contain his anger, reminded him that Zhang had once killed him. He couldn't understand why Qing was letting him go again, despite the disrespect. But Qing responded with a punch to the man's mouth. With a smile, Qing mused that the things one can't have are often the most desirable, while those easily obtained lose their value. Uju, still confused, reminded him that he once swore to do anything to kill Zhang Yue. She couldn't understand when his intentions had changed. Qing grabbed Usu's chin and told her it probably happened after Zhang killed him. She kept emphasizing how poor Zhang's family was and how he couldn't even afford golden equipment. But Qing had noticed something strange. Despite being a simple beast tamer, Zhang had dealt unusually high damage. Qing had become convinced that Zhang was no ordinary person. He had to recruit him into his supreme guild. Wu clenched her teeth in anger, thinking to herself that there was nothing special about him. No one understood him better than she did. He was just a worthless pauper. But she swore that she would eventually make Zhang kneel before her once again. Meanwhile, as they walked away, the girl beside Zhang thanked him for protecting her. Zhang told her not to thank him. It was simply because her life was worth 400,000 win to him. But she replied that maybe it was better to forget about it, as he wouldn't be able to complete the task anyway. Jen asked why she had posted a bounty on the forum if she lacked confidence. If she was having second thoughts, she could have backed out instead of entering the other world. The girl admitted that she had already given up long ago. She reminded him about her cursed body and told him to see for himself. She opened her system and revealed information about her cursed mage class. Zhang was taken aback. This was a special profession. In the other world, apart from core and life professions, there existed a third category, special professions. Those who broke through their restrictions could evolve into high-level, possibly even legendary or mythical professions. But most people failed to break free and faded into obscurity. The girl explained that ever since she awakened the special profession 3 years ago, she had tried hundreds of times without success. And because of the team system restrictions, she couldn't partner with anyone more than 10 levels above her. Zhang wondered aloud how two people with a maximum difference of 10 levels each could possibly defeat the first world's boss. But the girl simply told him to leave. Instead, Zhang said he could do it. He would take her through the first world. Hearing this, the girl broke down in tears and grabbed his hand, asking if he was serious. Young thought to himself that for 3 years he had dreamed of breaking the cursed profession limit and becoming a revered professional. Could it really be possible now? Shaking the thoughts away, he told her to stop talking. First, they had to complete the world mission. Jung activated his skill and explained that in the first world, adventurers must complete the world mission to qualify for the boss challenge. With a single, overwhelming move, he wiped out all the monsters around him. The girl beside him watched in shock, realizing that this might be Yong's true strength. In just a few hours, he had completed the world mission, eliminating over 1,000 monsters and collecting a massive amount of coins. With the prerequisites now met, Jung confirmed they were ready to challenge the boss. The girl agreed, though she admitted it felt strange. Someone as powerful as him wouldn't usually take on such low-level tasks. Jung simply replied that it was because he was a second-class person. This answer made the girl smile, while Jung secretly thought to himself that the real reason was his desperate need for money in the real world. Without wasting time, Jung pressed the button in the system window to initiate the boss challenge. A portal appeared before them. Zhang asked if she was ready, and she responded with excitement. The two stepped through the portal together and entered the demon abyss. The system immediately informed them that they had entered the first world's nightmare boss field, Demon Abyss. They now had a 1-hour time limit to defeat the boss, the Berserk Wild Boar King. Failing to do so or dying in the attempt would reset the mission and require them to complete the world mission again to reattempt the challenge. Zhang began preparing by handing the girl rare consumables, resurrection scrolls, and instant recovery potions. High-end items not easily acquired. Although confident he could clear the first world on his own, he knew the other world was unpredictable, and it was best to be prepared. He also suggested equipping the defense gear they had found earlier, including the Guardian armor dropped by Liu Yao onto the silver-armored scorpion. With this setup, they had a better chance at surviving the boss's attacks. Suddenly, the boss appeared, a massive, intimidating wild boar king. Seeing it, the girl tried to calm herself, believing that this time they would succeed. Zhang recalled how even dozens of people had failed to defeat this boss in the past. Now it was just the two of them. After so many failed attempts, it was no wonder that over 400,000 people had developed a psychological trauma toward the wild boar king. As the boss roared and began charging, Zhang instructed the girl to hide and focus on healing the silver-armored scorpion. When she asked about him, he confidently stated that he would handle the boss himself. With that, the wild boar king lunged forward. Zhang launched a fire attack immediately, but the powerful monster remained unharmed. He acknowledged that the creature was indeed as tough as expected for a boss-level enemy. The beast charged again, forcing Zhang to bring his pet, the silver-armored scorpion, into the fight. Zhang followed up with a fireball attack and reminded himself that no matter how tough the boss was, as long as the scorpion could tank the attacks, he could keep fighting. The boar king retaliated, pushing the scorpion back with sheer force. Zhang realized that this would not be as easy as he'd hoped. As the monster turned its attention to him, charging once again, the girl screamed in panic, telling Zhang to dodge. Zhang, holding his ground, responded with resolve. Just a little longer, he thought. Just a bit more. As the wild boar king lunged toward Zhang, he calmly waited for the right moment. Just as the beast neared him, Zhang activated his freeze attack, temporarily halting the monster's charge. Observing this, the girl was startled, realizing that low-star bosses naturally had a 50% resistance to control effects, meaning the freeze wouldn't last long. Infuriated, the wild boar king let out a thunderous roar, entering a berserk state. The girl recognized the trigger and knew things were escalating quickly. At that moment, young silver-armored scorpion charged in and launched a surprise attack on the boss. Zhang then shouted at the girl to heal the scorpion, and she immediately began channeling healing energy toward it. Despite her efforts, she grew concerned. Even with constant healing, the silver-armored scorpion was struggling to hold its ground. What they lacked wasn't defense, but stronger damage output. Zhang, however, remained focused. He insisted they didn't need to last much longer, just enough to complete his plan. With that, he unleashed his flame attack, melting the surrounding ice and setting the boar king ablaze. The blazing fire surrounded the monster, and Zhang declared that even a level 10 2-star wild boar king couldn't withstand the full power of someone equipped with 2-star metal gear and a legendary class profession. The monster howled in agony, consumed by the flames. Watching Zhang, the girl was stunned by his precision. She had never seen anyone use two skills so fluidly and effectively. The battle ended with the wild boar king collapsing to the ground. Defeated, Zhang emerged victorious and was rewarded with several valuable items: a skill book, a magic storm coat, and a dark blood sniper violence ring. The girl received a notification from the system. She had broken the career limit of a disaster mage. Shocked, she could hardly believe what just happened. Not only had she escaped the limitations of her class, but she had also evolved into an epic core profession. Meanwhile, the system broadcasted the news to all players. The world boss, Berserk Wild Boar King, had been defeated. The entire player base was stunned. Whispers spread quickly. Some questioned if the first world had really been cleared in just half a day. Others were confused by the lack of party notifications. They were shocked to learn only 2 players had taken part. One of them, just a disaster mage with no known combat ability, had to rely entirely on someone else. Soon, 2 portals opened before Zhang. One glowed red, leading to the second world. The other was blue, offering a return to the first. Zhang decided to head back first, wanting to settle a few things before advancing further. As he walked toward the blue portal, the girl asked where he was going. He casually replied that he was off to ask her sister for money, then disappeared into the passage. The girl realized the truth. Zhang was the mysterious professional known as Zero, the one who had become the first to clear the secret realm. Elsewhere, inside the towering Su Corporation building, an assistant informed Miss Su of an incoming call. On the line, her younger sister confirmed that she had completed the task and requested her payment. Miss Su, however, was skeptical. She asked for time to verify the claim, suspecting it to be another scam. After all, only half a day had passed, far too quick for such a feat. Moments later, her sister burst into the office glowing with excitement. She shared her success. Not only had she broken the disaster body's limit, but she had also acquired the epic core profession of a forbidden mage. Surprised, Miss Su acknowledged that no one in their family had ever reached beyond the rare level profession. She assumed many people must have helped her sister, but her sister revealed the truth. Only one person had helped. This revelation left Miss Su speechless. She sat down at her desk and checked the system logs. The helper, as she suspected, was Zero, the professional who had become a sensation online. With a smile, Miss Sue realized what this meant. Her sister and Zero had shattered a century-old record and were now the first group ready to enter the second world. Their achievement would elevate the Sue family status within Dragon Nation. Wasting no time, Miss Sue called for an emergency board meeting. She declared that to be the first to conquer the second world, they had to recruit Zero into Rain Pavilion, regardless of the cost. Zhang received a call from the hospital informing him that his remittance had been received and that he could reach out anytime for further requests. Feeling relieved, he asked them to take good care of his younger brother and ensure a full recovery. However, the hospital reminded him that his brother's injuries were quite severe, and continued hospitalization would cost around 40,000 to 50,000 yuan per month. Hearing this, Jung recalled how costly the treatment was and regretted not agreeing to the rich man's offer earlier. Just then, Zhang received another call, this time from Sue. She introduced herself as Su Jinga, the vice president of the Yanu Pavilion Guild. She invited Jung to join their guild, explaining that the company offered full benefits, including social insurance, a base salary of 30,000 yuan per month, and performance bonuses. Jung saw this as perfect timing and agreed to join. Sue and her sister were delighted to hear his decision, but Zhang added one condition. He would only participate during major guild events or when needed, and the guild must not interfere with his personal freedom at other times. Another man interrupted, disagreeing with Jung's demand. He stated that guild members were expected to work consistently, and personal freedom couldn't override guild responsibilities. Jung immediately ended the call, saying that if they couldn't accept his terms, there was no point in continuing. After the call ended, Such Chen, chairman of the Su Corporation, asked if this was the person Su had insisted on recruiting. Su confirmed, explaining that Zhang, along with Jin Yan, had recently cleared the first world boss in just half a day, breaking a century-old record. She stressed that Zhang was a rare talent they had to secure immediately. Her sister also praised Zhang, calling him amazing. Su suggested agreeing to his terms first and then observing how he adapted within the guild. Her sister noted that Zhang had mentioned he wasn't seeking complete freedom, just selective participation. Su Chen approved the idea but warned that if Jung failed to comply with management, he would personally decide what to do with him. Shortly after, Zhang received a call again. This time, Su informed him that they had agreed to his conditions and asked when he could report to the company. Zhang responded that he would work from home, mentioning that since they were all in Linhai City and the login points for the other world were the same, there was no need to visit the company physically. Su was initially surprised but accepted his arrangement without issue. Zhang found the guild president easy to negotiate with and felt confident now that his income was stable. With finances settled, he focused on strategizing for the other world. The system then prompted him to choose a world to enter, either the Source of Dreams or the Zombie Siege. Zhang chose to enter the second world. Upon entry, the system announced that the apocalypse had arrived. Humanity had begun mutating under its grip, and zombies were laying siege to cities. As a survivor in Notting City, Zhang had to join others in defending it. If the zombies succeeded in building their own city, there would be no place left to escape. Zhenong noted that the minimum level for the second dungeon was level 15. To complete the first task, he needed to level up quickly. Just then, he heard a voice behind him. Turning around, he saw a soldier captain briefing his team. The captain urged everyone to prepare defenses quickly, warning that a massive zombie wave would strike within the next 2 days. Supplies in the warehouse were running low, and the defenders needed weapons urgently. Jung realized that although Notting City was a safe zone, the constant zombie attacks created a tense and suffocating environment. The captain approached Zhang and asked him to head west of Notting City to slay mutant zombies and collect materials to help forge weapons. Zhang understood that this was one of the easier tasks within the city, with a wide operational range and an attack squad level spanning from 11 to 20. The system then assigned Zhang his task. He was to collect 100 elemental cores, fire, ice, and poison types from mutant zombies west of the city to restock the weapon supply. Zhang smiled upon seeing the task details. The rewards were quite generous and could significantly help him progress through the second world. He confidently assured the captain he would handle it. The captain thanked him. The scene shifted to the defense camp outside Notting City. The entire area was engulfed in flames, and zombies roamed all around. Zhang arrived at the camp with his scorpion, ready to begin the mission. He launched his fire attacks against the zombies. However, when a fire-type zombie charged at him, his scorpion crushed it with a single move. Zhenong quickly realized that fire skills had limited effect on fire zombies, reducing the damage significantly. He decided to switch tactics, activating his ice skill instead, and prepared to test how long it would last against the undead. Zhenong commanded his silver-armored scorpion to draw the attention of the flame zombies. Responding instantly, the scorpion lunged forward and clamped the zombie's arms tightly with its claws. With the elite-level gear equipped on the scorpion, combined with the lifesteal effect from both the bodyguard skill and armor, the flame zombie couldn't even land a damaging blow. Yet something about the situation felt strangely too smooth to Zhang. Without wasting time, he raised his staff and unleashed an ice attack, instantly eliminating the zombie in a single strike. After the kill, Zhang noticed the meager loot. Only a few copper coins dropped. It was clear that the monster drop rate at this level was disappointingly low. Even after clearing multiple zombies, Young had only managed to collect about 50 Ferd-type corpse cores. Despite working through the entire afternoon, he was far from completing the mission. The poor rewards and low drop rates made it feel unrewarding. Missing his meal had left him starving, and he decided to log off, planning to resume the mission later that night. Just as he prepared to exit, a sudden, fierce roar echoed behind him. Turning around sharply, Jinong recognized the stance. It had to be a respawned boss monster. Emerging from the shadows, a level 14 Ice-Fire zombie commander appeared. Its presence confirmed Jinong's suspicion. The boss monster's value was undeniable. Defeating it might yield rare gear or even a skill book. The boss locked eyes with Yang, prompting him to summon his staff. Before Young could act, the monster roared and launched an ice attack. Young swiftly dodged and countered with a fireball, successfully hitting his opponent. However, facing a dual-attribute enemy, one that wielded both ice and fire, Jen realized his skills would only be half as effective. This monster was practically built to counter his current build. The boss retaliated with a powerful attack, aimed directly at Zhang, but the silver-armored scorpion leaped in just in time to shield him. The immense damage stunned Zhang. The boss followed up with a flurry of ice sparks targeting the scorpion. The system soon alerted Zhang his silver-armored scorpion had died. To revive it, he would need to wait 3 hours at the Spring of Life and accept penalties of -1 level and -10 loyalty. However, thanks to his Necromancer class, the scorpion would automatically revive within 1 hour, free of penalties. Even with his strong pet, Young realized this boss was on a different level compared to anything in the first world. Its strength was overwhelming. Suddenly, a thunderous strike hit the boss from above. Jin, Su's sister, had entered the scene and launched the surprise attack. She took charge of controlling the boss, allowing Zhang to focus solely on dealing damage. With determination, Zhang prepared to wear the monster down, even if his attacks were only half as effective. Jin Yan cast a fireball, and to Yen's surprise, the spell also immobilized the boss. She followed up seamlessly with a light-based skill. Watching the perfect chain of 3 back-to-back abilities, Jinong recognized her true power. This was the strength of an epic class, the Forbidden Mage. Zhang unleashed his fire skill, launching a blazing attack at the boss monster, while Jinin supported him with her own magic skills. Working in perfect sync, the two overwhelmed the powerful enemy and brought it down. Upon its defeat, the system awarded them 4 million energy points. Zhang acknowledged the massive gain and suggested splitting the zombie leader rewards evenly, but Jin Yan refused, explaining that she was already on a quest and had run into him by chance. She reminded him that he'd helped her clear the first world, and she hadn't even thanked him properly. When Zhang replied that her sister had already settled the debt, Jinan insisted that she was her own person. Extending her hand, she introduced herself, and Zhang did the same. With both of them being in the same guild and working on similar collection quests, Jin Yan proposed teaming up for greater efficiency. Curious, Jen asked about her profession effect. Jin, excited, described that all her control-type skills convert into immobilization with a 30% increase in duration. Additionally, her skills gained a 1-second immobilization effect and a 30% cooldown reduction. Zhang, impressed by her powerful control abilities, realized that their teamwork would significantly boost their monster hunting efficiency. Jin Yan then asked about his next destination. Zhang mentioned he was heading back to Notting City and suggested regrouping in 10 minutes to continue farming monsters. Hearing this, Jin Yan happily recalled her old promise to marry the one who helped her break the curse of calamity, then quickly shook off the thought, embarrassed by her own imagination. Meanwhile, Jinong checked his newly acquired loot. He had received 3 pieces of equipment and a skill book. Planning to sell the 1-star gear, he decided the rest would enhance his power well enough. The agility boost of 10 points pleased him, but he knew he still needed stronger offensive skills. He refined one of his skills, prompting the system to update. Super Flame Missile Gradea A summons 3 flame missiles that each deal 110% magic damage, consuming 72 mana. Zhang noted his increased speed and newfound skill, confident that monsters would no longer even get close to him. Right then, the system notified him of a guild invitation from Suja. Zhang accepted it and geared up, ready to dive back into questing. He resumed zombie hunting while Jin Yan complimented his ability to shoot flame zombies so efficiently. Zhang in return praised her awareness, control timing, and high-attribute godly equipment. Jin revealed that everything she used was a gift from her sister, tailored perfectly for a forbidden mage. Zhang internally admired the top-tier quality of her gear and silently acknowledged how useful money could be. Jin Yan then asked if he was hiding the visual effects of his equipment, suspecting he might also be using divine-level gear because of his high attack power. Jinong replied that it wasn't about the gear. He was a mythical class professional. Jin Yan didn't believe him. She pointed out that no mythical class professionals had awakened this year as no anomalies were recorded. Zhang deflected the topic, thinking to himself that his class hadn't awakened in the usual way. Then he confirmed that they had collected all the fire and ice zombie cores, and now only the toxic zombies remained. He suggested they head toward the toxic zombies' nest to finish the quest. Just then, a system-wide message from Yanu Pavilion's general was broadcast, ordering all guild members to gather at Zombie City within 10 minutes. Anyone absent without reason would be kicked out. Seeing this, Jin Yan expressed frustration over Chen Jun's usual way of leading. No explanations, just threats. Zhang, unfamiliar with the name, commented on Chen Jun's commanding presence. Jin Yan clarified that Chen Jun was the head of Yanu Pavilion's Linhai City branch, and his position was arranged by her uncle Suchen, a lifelong friend of Chen Jun's father. Zhang agreed that since it was a guild operation, they should go. The scene then shifted to a wild battlefield where Qing's team and Yanyu Pavilion members were fighting a wild monster. Amid the chaos, both groups clashed with each other. One of the Yanyu Pavilion members shouted at Qing for interfering with their boss fight, claiming they found it first. Qing coldly responded, stating that power rules the world, and ordered his team to eliminate the opposition. Suddenly, a circular formation appeared in the sky, unleashing a fiery rain from above. Shocked by the unexpected attack, Qing demanded to know who was interfering in his business. Now, Zhang arrived on the battlefield, confronting him, hinting at payback for the last time. Qing tried to steal their guild's boss. That's it for this chapter. Smash that like, sub for more, and let me know your favorite moment in the comments.